Hey everybody, this is Unit 5, Formative 1, Day 4 video. We're going to be factoring with a missing term. Okay, so this is what your problems are going to look like with a missing term. So basically what's missing is that middle x. So really if we wanted to rewrite it, we could say negative 3x squared plus 0x plus 27. Okay, but I'm not going to have you guys do that for those problems. It's just so you can actually see that that middle term is 0. Okay, well, if you have a problem that is missing your middle term or that has a 0, the first thing we want to still do is look for a GCF. So if you look at negative 3 and 27, the GCF between those two things would be negative 3 because the first term is negative, so it would be a negative 3 we can pull out. And when we divide everything by negative 3 then, we get a positive x squared minus 9. Okay, so our middle term is still missing. In that case, I'm just going to put the negative 3 down, draw my two parentheses. Alright, and once you get your two parentheses drawn, we're still going to look at that first term, so there's an x squared, so we're going to take x times x. Alright, and instead of drawing your table and coming up with a bunch of factors, it's actually nice and easy now. We look at the 9, or we look at that second term, and we basically just take the square root of it, or what number times itself will give you 9. Well, 3 and 3 give you 9. The numbers will always be the same that I put here and here. So 3 and 3, because 3 times 3 is 9, and then one's going to be positive and one's going to be negative. Because now, if you look at this, so this would be our answer. And the reason why is because if you take 3 times x, you get 3x. And x times negative 3, you get negative 3x. And those actually equal a 0x, which is what we were going for at the very beginning here, because our middle term does not exist. There's no middle term in there. Okay, here's another example. So again, we want to look for a GCF. So for a and negative 16, you can pull a 4 out. And that leaves you with a squared minus 4, because we divided everything by 4. Okay. After that, we're going to pull down the 4, draw our two parentheses, put an a times an a, because that gives you a squared. Put 1 plus and 1 minus, because both parentheses will look exactly the same, except for a plus and a minus. And then we're going to basically take the square root of 4, or what times itself will give you 4. Well, 2 times 2 gives you 4. And there's your answer. Okay, here's another one. We start off with a negative x squared. Well, that tells you right away that you should have a GCF because we never start with a negative, so we're going to take out a negative 1 for our GCF. That gives me a positive x squared and then minus 81. Okay, so negative 1 goes on the outside. Two parentheses, x times x gives you x squared. One's going to be positive, one's going to be negative, because they're going to cancel out to give you a 0x, and then 9 times 9 gives you 81. Alright, this last one's a little bit different. You look for a GCF. Well, nothing goes into 4 and 9, but we also can see, if we draw our two parentheses, okay, remember I told you both parentheses need to look exactly the same, so we can't just drag down and put a 4x right here and an x right here, because then the parentheses would not look the same, okay, but what times itself will give you 4? Well, 2x times 2x will actually give you 4x squared. We're going to do a plus and a minus sign, and then 3 times 3 will give you 9. So if we actually go ahead and check our answer now, because remember we want to get that 0x, because it's actually 4x squared plus 0x minus 9 is what this problem actually is. So if we go ahead and check our answer, this gives me 6x here, and this gives me a negative 6x. Well, those are going to cancel out and give me 0x's. And then the 2 times 2 will give me 4x squared, and the 3 times the negative 3 will give me negative 9. So I actually have it where it works out here. And there would be your answer, 2x plus 3 and 2x minus 3. Alright, here is your practice problem. Make sure you are able to do that one. If not, come with questions, please. We will see you later.